Hello students, welcome to the class. Introduction. In today's scenario, majority of situations that business community face, the judgments regarding what is right or ethical and wrong or unethical. It is one of the tasks of ethics to distinguish between ethical and unethical business practices. It is hard nut to crack to determine what is ethical or unethical. As Peter Druckerhas has observed, ethical concerns in business have become very important tool. Advertising, personal selling, pricing, marketing research and international marketing are all the matters of ethical issues. There are numerous issues relating to marketing ethics, and present scholars and practitioners continues conflicting and challenging with the value of a socially responsible towards marketing activities. Judgment regarding various commodities deals with good or bad option. Advertising has a significant impact on consumer lives. India is an emerging economy characterized by a large consumer base and diversity and improving consumer awareness. India, due to a large consumer base, it is important to understand the right and wrong in advertising. So, this study is taken to understand the ethics in advertising, to deal with various ways of ethical advertisements and to find various unethical cases in India. Objectives. What is ethics? Advertising ethics. Types of unethical advertising. What is ethics? Ethics means good conduct or conduct which is right in view of the society and the time period. By common consent, various modes of behavior and conduct are viewed as good or bad. In other words, we can say that ethics are moral principles and values that govern the actions and decisions of an individual group. Ethics is a choice between good and bad, between right and wrong. It is governed by a set of principles of morality at a given time and at a given place and in a given society. Advertising has ethical value. The mixing of art and facts in advertising communication are subservient to ethical principles. In today's competitive and biased market, advertisements have to be truthful and ethical. If an advertisement is misleading, the credibility of the organization is lost. To view the truth in advertisement, it has to be seen from a consumer's point of view rather than from a legal point. The advertising industry has been frequently criticized for putting out misleading or exaggerated claims in respect of products, goods and services. Mass media has the power to affect and manipulate society. For this reason, mass media should be used with a sense of responsibility and in accordance with judicial restriction. This is also valid for advertising, which gives messages to society and tries to convince them. The message of an advertisement is no different from the news or comments in a paper or a program on TV. The responsibility expected from mass media should be in conformity with ethical values and within judicial limits. The same responsibility is also expected from the advertisers. In the advertising sector, the core values stem from personal, organizational and professional ethics. The source of personal ethics is primarily an individual's conscience. Each advertiser should determine the positive and negative effects of advertising messages for the social structure and humanity in his own conscience. If an advertiser personally determines his own ethical values and presents his own ethical codes, it is always easier to determine organizational and professional ethical values. Advertising ethics. Ethics means a set of moral principles which govern a person's behavior or how an activity is conducted. And advertising means a mode of communication between a seller and a buyer. Thus, ethics in advertising means a set of well-defined principles which govern the ways of communication taking place between the seller and the buyer. Ethics is the most important feature of the advertising industry. Though there are many benefits of advertising, there are also some points which don't match the ethical norms of advertising. Ethics is a branch of academic discipline of philosophy, which means some general principles, values and norms to determine what is good or bad, correct or incorrect, right or wrong, as far as human actions are concerned. Ethics teaches us power to differentiate between good and evil, true and false, wicked and noble, etc. According to two noted American professors, Edward Spence and Brett Van Heekeren, ethics is a set of prescriptive rules, principles, values and virtues of character that inform and guide interpersonal and intrapersonal conduct of people towards themselves. This means that when rules, principles, values, virtues are blended in an advertising copy, these can go a long way to make a consumer purchase a product, services or goods, though that person may not necessarily be needing these instantly. But that person purchased these products because of the persuasion and or influence by so many advertisements of those products, goods or services in the print and electronic media. An ethical advertisement is one which doesn't lie, doesn't make fake or false claims and is in the limits of decency. Nowadays, ads are more exaggerated and a lot of puffery is used. Puffery is a promotional statement or claim that expresses subjective views rather than objective ones. Puffery puts up an exaggerated image of what is being advertised. These views are not to be taken literally. Sometimes the advertisers lack knowledge of ethical norms and principles. They just don't understand and are unable to decide what is correct and what is wrong. The main interest for advertisers is to increase their sales, gain more and more customers, and increase the demand for the product by presenting well decorated and colorful advertisements. They claim that their product is the best, having more unique qualities than the competitors, along with being more cost effective and more beneficial. But many of these ads are found to be false and unethical. They only serve to mislead customers. The best examples of these types of advertisements are the ones which show snacks for children. These advertisements use bright colors and glossy pictures to make the product look attractive to the consumers who are watching the advertisements on television and convince them to buy the product without giving a second thought to the nutritional value of the food being shown. Ethics also depends on what one believes. If the advertiser makes the advertisements on the belief that the customers will understand, think and then act on their ads, then this will lead to positive results and advertisements may not be called unethical. But at the same time, if advertisers believe that they can fool their customers by showing impractical things like just clicking your fingers will make your home or office fully furnished, or just buying a lottery ticket will make you a millionaire, then this would be unethical advertising. Thus, a smart, alluring but deceptively worded advertisement copy has enormous potential of manipulating the mind and entice of a consumer to buy those goods, services and products. Similarly, an expensive product endorsed or certified to be immensely useful for daily use and of genuine quality by a well-known personality, a star or a celebrity can induce a person of paltry means to invest a major portion of his salary may amount to misguiding or misleading that person. If you examine some of the advertisements in newspaper and magazines, you will find that they are of popular consumer goods, kitchen gadgets, daily wear and cosmetic products. The advertising copy of such products will contain words of persuasive nature. They use heart-touching language brimming with consumerist appeal. At times, they unabashedly employ humorous or even offensive sex appeals targeting people or spread fears or use religious appeals. Such advertisements exploit human emotions, passions, sympathy. Therefore, some of the prominent issues related to advertising ethics include use of informative content of advertising for sentimental persuasive purposes, creating fear, intimate sexual appeals, exploiting children, indicting minorities, surrogate advertising for cigarettes, tobacco, alcoholic beverages, among others. The business of advertising is largely global in nature. The business also takes some local, regional or national factors or characteristics into consideration. Therefore, the broad principles of ethics of advertising in India cannot be very much different those that are being understood or followed in other parts of the world, particularly in democratic countries. India's standards of ethics therefore need to be very much compatible with all sorts of economic systems, commercial practices or business regulations prevalent internationally. For that, it is imperative that Indian advertisers and Indian advertising agencies avoid objectionable language in ad copy, offensive illustrations accompanying the ad texture, ensure that the religious beliefs of the people and cultural ethos are not hurt. The advertising laws in India are quite unambiguous and precautions stated therein must be followed. Moral principles. Advertisement should follow three moral principles: truthfulness, social responsibility and upholding human dignity. Honesty and truthfulness. Advertisements should be so framed that they do not abuse the trust of consumers or exploit their lack of experience or knowledge. The elements affecting the purchase decision of consumers should be presented in a proper way to the consumers. Advertisements should be truthful and never have misleading messages. In advertisements, expressions, sounds and visuals which may mislead the consumers by wrong information or by creating ambiguity or claiming exaggerated messages should not be used. The principle of honesty and truthfulness are really important in advertisement, as the consumers firstly expect trust from the brands. The image and prestige of brands will be damaged by abusing the trust of consumers. Social responsibility. Advertisement should not give any message that promotes discrimination based upon race, nationality, religion, sex, age, social and economic status or disability, nor should they in any way undermine human dignity. Advertisements should not play on fear, appear to condone or indict violence, nor abuse the suffering of people. Ethical principles remind the advertisers of their social responsibility and underline that they not only sell goods or services but also protect the society. In the last few years, applications in digital media platform have increased, and most of these applications have started to disturb the consumers. In this sense, some practice such as unwanted emails, including consumers' name in marketing lists, have grown. These need to be strongly kept in check. Types of unethical advertising. Unethical ads come in many shapes and forms. Here are some of the most frequent examples. The ethical issues are divided based on the negative effects on the culture and society into minor and major issues and further detailed. According to Chunawala and Setia, the following minor issues have frequently been raised against advertising. Advertisements that drive desire for unnecessary products. It has been pointed that advertising most of the time creates and encourages the customers to purchase unnecessary products. It persuades the people to buy the product which they do not need or cannot afford. But the counter argument that the advertisement does not create needs, rather it helps the consumers decide which brand to purchase among the various competitive brands. Advertisements that are deceptive. Use of exaggeration in the advertisements and flowery language is often argued as deceptive to the consumers. Advertisements attract the people to buy goods or services through false claims and false testimonials. However, counter argues that some people misusing advertisement does not mean that advertisement as a whole is bad. Exaggeration is required to make people turn towards the product and act accordingly. Advertisements that are offensive. Some advertisements are found to be offensive and visually vulgar. Offensive is subjective, determined by time and culture. For example, advertisements using unnecessary sex appeal for the product, like making women run after a boy who has the product being advertised. Advertisements that create monopoly. As it is seen, some advertisements create brand preferences and restricts from free competition. Big companies which are able to invest huge amount on advertising campaign are more likely to eliminate small companies by creating brand monopoly. But counter argue that it is all about survival. Advertisements that promote unhealthy products. Advertisements attracts people consume unhealthy products like tobacco, alcohol, cigarettes, noodles, Cerelac, infant supplement to breast milk, etc., which might affect their health. In India, though there is restriction on advertising of such products, manufacturers of such products are able to advertise and emphasize their brand in many indirect ways. For example, Manikchand, Filmfare Awards, Kingfisher Mineral Water, Teachers Achievement Awards, etc. Advertisements that are created a sort of unsatisfied society. Advertising affects our society by creating a desire that happier life depends in obtaining the branded goods. Hence, creates a sort of insecurity among the people with less purchasing power who are unable to afford to purchase such products. The major ethical issues are categorized based on the negative effects like misleading, deceptive, etc. on Indian consumers. Culture and society which need to be evaluated by the concerned body or organization are detailed. Concealment of facts. Hiding the facts about the product is the major ethical issue on which most of the advertisements are criticized. Advertisers usually tend to suppress information about the product and show only the best and brighter side of the product. They cover up the truth which would make the product fail to attract the target consumers. For example, Fairness face creams claim that the regular application of their cream would make fairer and attractive, but do not mention that it contains harmful bleaching agent which is very harmful to the skin. Similarly, hair coloring products do not mention that the product contains harmful chemicals which might damage their hair and as well as scalp, and prolonged usage would lead to side effects too. Concealment of facts raises many ethical concerns as the general public are deprived of actual truth about the product and the consumer choices are distorted. Deceptive practices includes sex appeal. In India, women have been respected and have been worshipped. The portrayal of women as the object of desire seems to be a popular trend in recent days. Portraying women as a sex object and display their figurative body to sell products is an example of sexual exploitative advertisements. An advertisement which depicts women as a sex symbol is considered humiliating and barbaric tactics, especially if sex is not relevant to the product advertised. For advertisements of lingerie, condoms, etc., sex appeal is relevant. Hence, displaying their body is considered to be okay. Advertisers also use nudity in the advertisement to promote their product, which is also considered unethical. For example, Levi's commercial showing bare-chested young man with his pant button opened, revealing partly his innerwear, had a statement, "Bare what's inside, live unbuttoned," which itself cannot be termed as decent. These type of advertisements cause severe offense. Promoting unhealthy products. In recent years, advertisements of unhealthy consumable products like soft drinks, noodles, etc. have increased. Manufacturers of soft drinks focus their attention on youngsters. Even celebrities like Hrithik Roshan, Amitabh Bachchan, Shah Rukh Khan, Amir Khan, Aishwarya Rai, Ranbir Kapoor, Kareena Kapoor, etc. Also, sports personalities like Sachin Tendulkar, Virendra Sehwag, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, etc. are extensively promoting soft drinks. Dangerous stunts. It is unethical if an advertiser fails to realize the adverse effects of the advertised message on the consumer psychology. Hence, the advertiser must be careful not to depict unsafe or dangerous stunts in their advertisements, which, if imitated by the people, can cause serious injury. Instead, the advertisers must encourage safe practices in the stunts like wearing helmets and not using mobile phones when driving, not drinking or smoking while doing stunts, fastening seat belts, etc., which also gives a positive message to the masses. Subliminal advertising. For the past many years, the Fair and Lovely advertisements have been portraying fame and fortune are related to fair and beauty. According to their claims and advertisements, a tube of their fairness cream will bring huge success. It also suggests that fair and beautiful girls gets the boy. In some advertisements, they have shown women using Fair and Lovely becomes attractive and gets a job and becomes a successful person. According to their claim, educational qualification is not required to get a job, but the main qualification for a woman to get a job is the way she looks, which subconsciously convey the message that dark-skinned people cannot be successful in their personal life as well as professional life. However, many are of the opinion that Fair and Lovely has violated Indian advertising ethics by insulting the majority of dark-skinned Indian women. Surrogate advertising. When the advertisements of certain products are banned in a country, advertisers promote such products in a hasty manner, which is termed as surrogate advertisement. The Indian government has banned advertisements of liquor and tobacco due to their harmful effects on health. As an alternative, these liquor and tobacco manufacturers started promoting their brand by introducing various other products in the market with the same brand name. For instance, Hayward's soda, Kingfisher's mineral water, Smirnoff cassettes and CDs, etc. Similarly, tobacco manufacturers too are following the same trend. For example, Will's Lifestyle, Manikchand Filmfare Awards, etc. Hidden fees. These are unethical advertisements that don't mention that there are extra costs or fees associated with a service or product. How many times have you downloaded a game advertised as free only to find out you can only play 1 or 2 levels and then pay for it? Misleading images. Ads that use images to show consumers something they won't actually get. A burger that looks twice as big and juicy as it is in the ad is somewhat of a miracle, and using a 20-year-old to advertise anti-aging beauty products is surely misleading. These ads have misleading statements or claims that are not supported by actual facts or research. A brand new toothpaste recommended by 98% of dental health professionals. Pressure tactics. This is when companies use pressure tactics to get people to buy something they don't really need. Tapping into the fear of missing out isn't incredibly unethical for sure, but it can definitely go too far. Like, for example, when an ad encourages someone to purchase something before the end of a limited time offer, which can be misleading. False endorsements. These are ads that use false endorsements from celebrities to make a product look more appealing. A famous singer promoting an energy drink they probably never even touched. Shady. Objectifying women's bodies. This one is still debated, but ads that objectify women's bodies use sexy models as props to grab attention or portray a false perception of beauty, and generally forms of unethical advertising. We may not have realized this a couple of decades ago, but overly sexual ads can have terrible effects, especially on younger minds. Exploiting social issues. Ads that exploit or manipulate social issues to benefit their brand are also unethical. Companies have a responsibility to handle these delicate topics with respect and not use them as a way to increase their profits. Tata Tea, Jagore campaign. Examples: Volkswagen diesel scandal. This is one of the few situations where the problem isn't one ad but an entire program. Volkswagen concealed the fact that their diesel cars were releasing more harmful emissions than allowed by law, and even used software to cheat on pollution tests. Meanwhile, their ads promoted clean diesel cars, clearly misrepresenting their product. Coca-Cola's vitamin water misleading ad. Coca-Cola's vitamin water has been widely criticized for its misleading adverts, which make claims that the drink is a healthy alternative to soda, when in fact it was uncovered that vitamin water contained sugar and quite a lot of it. This is one of the most popular unethical advertising examples for the way in which it twisted reality and made false health claims. Nivea, when purity went wrong. Nivea, in one of its marketing campaigns for deodorant, used the tagline "Invisible for black and white," along with "White is purity." The controversial ad featured women with open hair and white outfit. This quickly became the topic of racism promotion and became quite the heat of the town. This gives a lesson on how careful businesses should be not only with images but with the words they use in marketing. More than external regulation, the advertisement needs internal controls and self-regulation. The ethical practices are expected while functioning. The players in the art of advertisement have to develop principles of ethics to guide the future advertising process. Producers of commercial goods resort to advertising because it is a legal method of evincing interest in the goods or services being advertised. With the increased competition, the advertising became an essential component of commercial strategy for publicity, which in turn paves the way for higher sales. Summary: with the profound understanding of the major ethical issues in Indian advertising, it has given a fair picture of the different issues as well as the seriousness of bringing an awareness of the ethics in Indian advertisement. But still, the growing competition and attempt to increase the sales, manufacturers or advertisers use hardcore marketing tactics, which many a times ends with deceptive and misleading advertisements. This damages the confidence of the people on the advertisements. Thus, there is a requirement to put a check on such unethical advertisements to protect consumers against misleading and deceptive advertisements, and also to ensure the public that the advertisements are always in the public interest.